discuss the Module 6 ERP as a foundation, the ABCs of implementation, Class ABCD ERP implementation stages, ERP implementation strategy and selection. So before I start, here's the learning outcomes. So after completing this module, students will able to understand the tools and techniques that have been designed to help companies and their people produces their products better and more efficiently. So students will able to understand the ABCs of implementing enterprise resource planning. Students were able to understand ERPs, develop the ABCD classification, and will learn the two principles flow from this analogy. So students will able to understand the ERP implementation strategies and selection. So let's start. ERP as a foundation. So today there are a wide variety of tools and techniques that have been designed to help companies and their people produce their products better and more efficiently. So this include lean manufacturing, Six Sigma quality, employee involvement, factory automation, design for manufacturability, and many more. So these are excellent tools with enormous potential. So first, we have the lean manufacturing. So lean manufacturing is a methodology that focuses on minimizing waste within manufacturing systems while simultaneously maximizing productivity. Waste is seen as anything that customers do not believe adds value and are not willing to pay for. So lean manufacturing is like cleaning your room. You want to get rid of all the stuffs you don't need, so you have more space and can find things easily. So in manufacturing, it's about getting rid of anything that doesn't help make the product better or faster. So this way, you use your resources efficiently and make things that customers really want. And the second one is the Six Sigma. So Six Sigma works to remove the causes of defects by reducing variability in business processes. So by following Lean Six Sigma method, manufacturers become cost-effective and highly efficient. But without ERP, this level of enterprise performance isn't feasible. So Six Sigma is a set of quality control tools that businesses can use to eliminate defects and improve processes to help boost their profits. So Six Sigma is like aiming the perfection in your work. So it's about finding and fixing the reason why mistakes happen so that things run smoothly and efficiently. So by using the Lean Six Sigma methods, manufacturers become really good at what they do, saving money and time. But to reach this level of excellence across the whole company, so you need an ERP system to bring everything together and make it work seamlessly. So, but none of them will ever yield their full potential unless they're coupled with an effective forecasting, planning, and scheduling process. So here's why. So it's not good enough to be extremely efficient. So if you're not making the wrong stuff, so it's not good enough to make items at a very high level of quality. So if they're not the ones needed, so it's not good enough to reduce setup times and cut lot sizes. So if bad schedules prevent knowing that what's really needed and when. So here's a little history. Back in the early 1980s, a new way of thinking about manufacturing came out of Japan, and it was truly revolutionary. In this country, we called it just in time, or JIT or GIT, and more recently it has evolved into lean manufacturing. So as with most new tools and processes, its early adherent promoted JIT, GIT with a missionary zeal, and rightly so. This is a great stuff, and some of them, however, took the approach that MRP or MRP2 was no longer necessary for companies doing JIT or GIT. The MRP establishment pushback and result was raging debate that generated a lot of heat and not much light. So today we can see the situation much more clearly, and we feel this view was been best articulated by Chris Gray, president of Gray Research and Wakefield NH. So Chris says that improvements to business processes take one of three forms. So first, we have the improving process reliability. So Six Sigma and other total quality tools are predominant here. So second, reducing process complexity. Lean manufacturing is heavily used here. And third one is the coordinating the individual elements of the overall set of businesses. So ERP lives here, and ERP resource planning, when operating at a high level of effectiveness, will do several things for a company. So first, it will enable the company people to generate enormous benefits. So many companies have experienced as a direct result of ERP or MRP2. So dramatic increase in responsiveness, productivity, on-time shipment and sales, along with a substantial decrease in lead times, so purchase cost, quality problems, and inventory. So further, ERP can provide the foundation upon which additional productivity and quality enhancement can be built, an environment where these other tools and techniques can reach their full potential. So effective forecasting, planning, and scheduling, knowing routinely what is needed, and when via the formal system, is fundamental to productivity. ERP is the vehicle for getting valid plans and schedules, but not just of materials and production. It also means valid schedules of shipment to customers, of personnel and equipment requirements, of required products, developed resources, and of cash flow profits. So enterprise resource planning has proven itself to be the foundation, the bedrock, the supply chain management. It's the glue that helps bind the company together with its customer, distributors, and suppliers, all on the coordinated, cooperative basis. So now let's go to more about software. So now that we've kicked the ERP topic around a bit, so let's double back on the software issue. So software for ERP is like a set of golf club. So you could give the greatest, most expensive set of golf clubs ever made to either one of your friendly authors, but they wouldn't break 120, so achieving a score in golf game. So why? So it's simple, because neither of us knows how to play golf. So on the other hand, so let's say we send Tiger Woods, the American professional golfer, out of the Pro Tour with only a 4-wood and a sandwich. Would Tiger win in a tournament? So not a chance. He'd never even make the cut. The reason is, to be competitive at the highest level of the game, you need a full set of clubs in the bag. So here's the two principles flow from the analogy. So first, the acquisition of tools the acquisition of the tools and by itself will not make you proficiently in their use, and those will not provide a competitive advantage. And second is that to be truly competitive, you need a good and reasonable complete set of tools. So just like in the example of in the situation example earlier, so you need a full set of clubs and the bag. So now let's go to the ABCs of implementation. So derived from the basic ABC approach to inventory control, in turn derived from Pareto's law in that technique. So the A items are considered very significant, costly, important, etc. Hence, they deserve the most attention and the most careful planning and control. So the B item are of less significance than the A items and hence less time and devoted to each other. The C item, while essential, are of least overall significance and even given proportionate attention. So this ABC approach apply to implementation stages that item C is the computer, so both of the hardware and software. So it's essential since ERP can't be done manually, but it's of lesser significance overall than the other elements. So, and then the item base, the data, the inventory records, the bills of materials, the routing, etc. There are more significant and require more of the company's overall attention and managerial emphasis. And the item A is the people. So the most important element in the making it happen. So if the people part of the implementation process is managed properly, so the people will understand the objectives and how to get there. They'll take care of getting and keeping the data accurate. They won't allow the computer tail to wag the company dog, as has been the case far too often. People are the key.